What's up, everybody? It's your boy, It's Whatever. Here bringing you the TOL Season 6 Draft Analysis. Now, I have been an OG, no, I wouldn't say OG, but I was a replacement in Season 1 for TOL. And it was my first league ever, and it had some pretty big names with like TTM Mio, iPro, Baby Eric. Some people who have, you know, really good battlers, and it's been kind of frustrating that that was my first league, kind of jumping into this, but it's really helped me grow because not only have I like faced those people, but you can only learn from your mistakes, and I've made a few mistakes in my time. I remember season 1 was a while ago. Man, I set up Mega Scizor on a Vaporeon and just hoped I wouldn't get Scald burned, and that was my win con, which was terrible. And I've learned so much since then. And I really wanted to, have a good showing with, how this was my like original league, and how I really wanted to, be strong showing. And so what I ended up doing was I was 11th pick, so point system. A lot of the main mons that I really wanted, like I know I wanted Lando. I always loved Lotties. Lotties are like my favorite. I really wanted Tapu Koko, but again, no Tapu for me. Uh, I wanted Zygarde, and what was the other one I really wanted? I wanted Kieran Black. I've always seen Kieran Black do so much, and I just really wanted, something that hits hard right off the bat. Now with 11 pick, I kind of got, a few options that are still left. The main one I really wanted was Blacephalon. And that is because, holy crap, Batman. 151 attack with base 107 speed. This thing is just such a monster, just in general, because it can just clean up an entire team with a scarf set. But with League, I could choose to go Specs, Life Orb, Sash. There's just so many, just hard hitting things that can come with Blacephalon. Now, it's not the most versatile. It's, I mean, 127, I think, base attack, not the worst, but really not the sets that you need to be running. But literally, it's going to be dual stab, just hard hitter, wall breaker, sweeper, cleaner. There's just so much it can do in that regard as just breaking holes open with that 151 special attack. And getting a beast boost on that, +1, that's going to really just destroy teams, just create that domino effect of just destruction, really. Um, Now, there's a lot of stuff that was there when it came back to me, and I really didn't want to get another main mon. I wanted to get something that kind of helps Blacephalon, so I ended up getting Dugtrio. Now, Arena Trap is stupid broken. Stupid broken. I hated this when it was in OU because just stopped Heatrans and all those types of Pokemon from even coming to matches just because Dugtrio just traps everything. Now, it's going to force a whole lot of prep with all of its trapping. It could force people to run Shed Shell, which means that they're not going to be running a Scarf for Blacephalon or anything like that. Also, they have to fear the Scarf Dugtrio because it's at 120 speed, which is going to be more than Blacephalon. So they have to choose whether they hit harder or make that Scarfer a little bit faster to hit that Dugtrio. But it's just such a good ability. Final Gambit, great. Memento is one of the things I also won't like from it because it's going to be able to give that -2 to set up one of my sweepers and just let them kind of punch a hole. Also gives me my first Stealth Rocker. which was pretty good. I don't have too many in this draft, which I know was a main problem with my draft last season, but I did not remedy that too much. I did get a few options, but it just still one of my weak points. But after this, I really wanted a Pokemon that I could have as a switch-in because Dugtrio and Blacephalon, like, their defenses are terrible. Base 35 HP, I didn't even know that was that low. Base 53 HP, 53, 70s. Like, I needed something to, you know, to switch into things. And Toxapex is probably one of the best at that. Because Toxapex is the most annoying Pokemon. Probably Toxapex, Celesteela, probably the two most annoying Pokemon. Just like probably up there with Cresselia, Blissey, Chansey, those kind of mons. But I really needed something that could switch in, knock off. I wanted stuff to knock off Scarfs, kind of punish things that are trying to switch into this. Scald Burns, Toxic Spikes. It's just, what Toxapex does. It sits there, it statuses, and it just wears you down. Now, one of the great things is because I have both Toxapex and Dugtrio, is it forces so much prep just because you need to have a Toxapex answer. Something that hits it for like over 50, 56%, because with the Black Sludge. And not many Pokemon can do that without like a specific item, putting a Life Orb on stuff, putting Specs, putting a Band, something like that to just hit this thing. And with Dugtrio, it forces prep too with, all the Shed Shell that you're going to probably want to run, try not to get trapped, all that stuff. But those two things really helped me because I wanted to get, some mons that just force prep. But next, I wanted something, because Dugtrio's physical, base 100, not the best. But I really wanted a setup sweeper, because Blacephalon, it needs to get a kill to set up, which kind of hinders it. But I really wanted to just kind of start on, okay, I got the mon that I wanted, got two mons that'll help it. Now let's try to start on works on some cores. Now, I got Salamence. Now, Salamence is one of my favorite design-wise Pokemon. I've never got to use it in Draft League, but I've seen it be used amazingly, and I've seen it be used terribly. Now, I want to try to use it to the best I can, but Intimidate and Moxie, two great abilities. It could definitely be used as a special attacker, because 110 is not bad with Dracos, Fire Blast, I think Hydro Pump or Surf. I know it gets water coverage. Hydro Pump, yeah. Tailwind support, Wish support. I've seen a Wish support set. It could be used bulky. It could do a few options, but one of its best sets is that Moxie Sweeper. It could definitely do a Intimidate Sweeper as well, which helps it set up, but Dragon Dance and win, pretty much. That's one of my favorite things. Dragon Dancing up is probably one of my favorite things to do in the game. Now, it can definitely just do a lot in punching holes on that physical side. And Salamence ended up being one of my Z users. So all the coverage is now able to be Z'd. So Z Fly is probably the most known set. Z Iron Tail, all of those. Z Aqua Tail, Z Crunch, Z Big Break. All of those are just adding to the threat that is Salamence. Now, which is going to force a few teams to bring their physical walls. And if you bring their physical walls, then Blacephalon kind of has a better time. Toxapex can wear it down a little bit easier. I wanted this team to be just threatening on both sides. Because I wanted stuff that you have to prep for offensively and stuff you have to prep for defensively. And if I can force that and get rid of one of those Pokemon with Dugtrio, then the Pokemon is just going to be able to clean through. That was one of my main reasons of getting a lot of these. Next, I got Rotom. Slow Volt Switch. Rotom forms are just so amazing, especially with those Defog. I needed a Defogger. Salamence, great Pokemon, not the best Defogger. Uh, both Salamence, Blacephalon, and Dugtrio like Sashes too sometimes, so I really needed something to get out of that, get those rocks off the field. Slow Volt Switch. I like Rotom because it's double resistant to electric, which really works well with Toxapex because it go on those ground type moves as well. But with the Leaf Storm, it can cover those switches into those ground types. That really kind of stopped that slow Volt switch. So that was one of the main reasons I got Rotom. Also, was pretty, average in price line, and I needed to get an electric type soon. They were starting to go. I know, like, most of them went by the first 4 rounds, I'd like to say. But then, after that, I wanted a wish support. Because, God, my team would like some wish support. Uh, Also, I needed a fairy because they were all going as well. All the dragons went, then all electrics, then all the fairies, and so I had to get Gardevoir. And I love Gardevoir. Gardevoir was one of my favorite Pokemon from Gen 3. You know, will always be the waifu. And it's just got so much that it could do. It could be a wish support. 65 defense, not the best. 65 HP, not the best. But I love Assault Vest. I love Scarf Sets. One of my favorite things is Trace. I remember one of my finals. I traced Aerodactyl Pinsir, and I hit it with a Hyper Voice. When I EV'd it enough to where it lived a quick attack, and it was probably the most heat I've ever seen in my life, at least what I've done. But Will-O-Wisp helps my other sweepers. Taunt. It's just a great move pool. Needed a fairy. Psychic types help. They always help. Uh, but really, another Memento user. Just saw that. That's pretty cool. Really just wanted something Moonblast just to hit hard. Fairy. That was really. I needed a fairy, wish support, Clericmon, and Gardevoir fit that. And after that, I kind of needed more. I kind of wanted more hazard removal because, like I said, my team did not like hazards at all. I also wanted to get an ice type, and one that I haven't ever used before, but I really wanted to, is Cryogonal. Now, another Levitator, which really helps Toxapex, again, Blacephalon. But I really wanted to get Cryogonal just because Freeze Dry is awesome. It's a knockoff user. Rapid Spin was pretty much the main reason. But I wanted an ice type that wasn't necessarily frail. Now, a lot of ice types are pretty frail. Cryogonal, if it's hitting on that special defense, it could take a few hits. Now, I'm not going to say it's going to be good at taking those hits, and ice type is a really terrible defensive typing, but I think that it definitely could come in handy as a, special defensive, pivot maybe. But I really just needed that rapid spin. I wanted an ice shard user, I really wanted a blizzard user, but I never knew that, uh, hail, the whole hail thing, blizzard, aurora veil. That's something that I really wanted to, as a kind of setup in the back type thing. But after this, I wanted to get my steel type because there was, like, again, not many steals, and I really needed to get something to kind of finish off that fairy dragon steel core. Um, and I wanted to, get something that's very defensive. And one of my favorite steel types is Bronzong. Now, Bronzong in one of my, I think, PWC D League it was my MVP, which was crazy because it had so many kills for no reason. And it's just awesome. It's one of my like one of the best stealth rockers. It could take hits on both sides. Like you can make it so it lives on both sides. It can hit back pretty decently hard too. It's not setup fodder because if you try to, you know, maybe Dragon Dance, Agility, Gyro Ball can hit hard. It can also go Boom, which I love. But basically, I needed a Steel type, Stealth Rocker, and Bronzong just fit that bill amazingly. It's just such a great wall that really helps with Gardevoir with those wishes. Toxapex as well because it can again levitate on those ground types, and then psychic types aren't going to do anything to Bronzong. It's just great. Now, the next thing I wanted was speed because, as you can tell, my team just hits 105, 120, 107. I kind of want a little bit more speed above that, and I really wanted Mega Beedrill. I had that thing in PWC. That thing was awesome. I loved it. It got sniped. I think two picks before me, but the pick before me also wanted it, so I wasn't ever going to get it anyway. But basically, I wanted it for momentum, that U-turn, uh, kind of Volt turn core kind of going. I unfortunately didn't get anything else that has that momentum, but I did need speed, so I went with Mega Aerodactyl. Now, I've seen a few people use this really good. Uh, the main set that I really want to run is just that Hone Claws Stone Edge set that just hits so hard. I've seen it used as a Tailwind support. You know, it's just there to kind of punch holes again. It's also there for that base 150 speed. That is going to make a whole new jump for people if they want to use Scarfers, that they want to, hit Aerodactyl speed tier, which is just crazy high. Like, it hits just extremely hard for being 135 base attack, and it can hit 438, which is amazing. I wanted something that can, be above those Tapu Kokos, those base 130s, all of those. I wanted something that hits above that. Now, after that, I looked and I saw that, wow, Dark types trap Acephalon, and I have nothing other than Gardevoir to really hit those. So I needed not only a Dark Resist, but a fighting type. And I think the one that I originally wanted Scrafty, but with points, it was one less than Pangoro, but I wanted to use my points differently for that last pick. So I got Pangoro. Kind of spoiled it a little bit a second ago, but Pangoro's, it's alright. It hits hard. Iron Fist, Mold Breaker, both good abilities. Scrappy even has its uses. But looking at the move pool, it's got pretty good move pool. Another knockoff user, and the main reason why I went this over Scrafty is Parting Shot. This gives me somewhat momentum, and it can really help with the memento users, all that. But really, I needed a Dark Resist, something that could hit hard, good fighting type, and I really just needed, a Dark type to resist, and I just think that Parting Shot really just adds to that effect. And with the last pick, I was like, okay, I need hazards. Like, I have Toxic Spikes, I have Stealth Rocks. I kind of wanted another form of hazards, and one of the better ones that was left, like Pineco, always can go with that nice mean pick last round, but Garbodor. I got Garbodor because Aftermath is a pretty good ability. It could definitely, its stats are just like meh, as like the most meh as I've ever seen. But again, another Exploder, but another Haze stop setup. But really wanted it for those spikes, really was the only real main reason I wanted Garbodor. I didn't really necessarily need the poison type, I just needed those spikes. Now, really, I wanted spikes just so Blacephalon can get the kills easier, Salamence can get the kills easier, get those boosts. Really was the main reason that I got this thing. And that's going to be my draft for TOL. I'm really excited. I think that my Firewater Grass Core is pretty good. Super offensive fire, super defensive water, and grass type is great with both of them. My Fairy Dragon Steel Core, I think, is pretty good. Nice, speed tiers with each of them. They all cover each other pretty well. But yeah, I think I'm just super excited for the season. I know I'm fully prepped for week 1 already. I'm waiting on that, and yeah, hopefully I can get that up for you guys in probably about a week. See how that goes. I'm just super excited for it. Like, I haven't used a lot of these Pokemon before, and I'm really excited just for each and every one of them. All right, peace.